welcome back to the podcast. I am your host, Miriam Temeskin. We are on the Black TV Show podcast, and I have Shani back with me to talk about this episode. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good. I am preparing for Christmas break, and I cannot wait because truth is I'm tired. Options are few. So I am ready to, of course, celebrate Christmas, open presents, and just spend some time with some family, some time that I haven't been able to have, and hopefully that all goes well.
I just want to note that we are pre-recording most of the episodes for the next, 2 months. So if you're listening to this, you're like, oh, it's already Christmas is over and all that stuff. That's because it is. But what are your New Year's resolution for 2022?
So honestly, I have just been telling myself that I need to kick into high gear. So I'm ready to just start diving into all things entertainment. I'm going to be dipping my feet in like event planning, possibly hosting some events, in addition to my podcast. Especially since like next November I'll be 30. So like I need to get so many balls rolling before 30. Yeah. So that's really what's been my focus. Another resolution that I have, I want to travel more. And I want to be more lenient with myself. A lot of times I will make a decision to not do something just because I'll either have the mindset of maybe I shouldn't do that, or something along those lines. So I want to start treating myself more. I want to explore other things that I otherwise would not have. I want to start attending more events. And I understand COVID is real. But I don't want to be like shut up in the house all the time.
Same.
And it's really easy for me to get caught up in that with the kind of job that I have. And a lot of the times my free time is on the weekend. And even on the weekend, like I'm in the house.
Yeah.
I'm watching TV, I'm chilling. Sometimes the thought of going out is like, do I really want to do that? But then sometimes it's like, I probably should have went out. So I want to get better with that, especially if I'm going to thrive in this field. I'm going to have to be going out, and I'm going to have to be showing my face, even at the times that I don't want to. Mm-hmm. So I'm just pushing myself this next coming year. So maybe that could be my overall resolution, is to push myself.
That's amazing. I think mine is to be more independent. I think I've said on the podcast, I do live with my family. So I kind of want to move away from them, not leave the country, but, move to have my own space, be more independent. And also, try to keep working as much as I can, because, the last 2 years of the pandemic, it was hard. Like, even though it's so busy with the film industry, it is still, I just haven't been able to make the amount of money that I hope to make. So I'm hoping that this year will be, I'm just going to be making bank, basically.
Period. Secure the bag by all means necessary.
Yeah. So that, I think, is my resolution for this year, because I don't want to go with the typical like lose weight, because I always say that every year, and then I just don't. I end up gaining weight, so I'm like, I'm not.
Right? Look, so I like food. Okay, if the weight fall off, it fall off. If it stay on, it stay on. Either way, I'm eating good. Mm-hmm. Like I've stopped worrying about losing weight, and really I just focused on just what I put into my body. Mm-hmm. I've just focused on the wealth that health is. Yeah. So recently I've been eating more salads, which is something that I probably would have like turned my nose up at.
Mm-hmm.
And just like sometimes I don't even have the desire for a lot of stuff anymore. And I think once your mind has landed itself in the place where it's more about just being more healthy than it is about, rigorously losing weight, or when you focus on trying to look different, it makes it that much harder.
Yeah.
But as long as you maintain a healthy lifestyle, you'll balance everything out.
Yeah. Well, so we're going to get into this episode. It's The Cosby Show, Season 4, Episode 16, The Visit. It aired originally January 21st, 1988. And the synopsis is that Theo visits a friend who's hospitalized for cancer. And Elvin gets in hot water with his spot-on impression of Cliff. So I want to talk about Alvin's, because his story is like storyline B basically of this episode. And basically, Sandra went to Boston with her girlfriends for the weekend, and Alvin is now alone, and you could tell he's lonely. Even like Kenny and Rudy are like, I think you're lonely because you're talking to a bunch of kids. And like the one question I have is, if my spouse has left for a week or a weekend, I think I would go visit my own parents. I don't think I would visit my in-laws.
My God, it feels like you don't see this man's parents until the babies get here.
Yeah.
And because again, if my memory serves me correctly, Elvin is Caribbean by bloodline.
Yeah.
How are you not going home and getting you some food?
I know.
I'm walking in the house like, Dad, I need some callaloo, I need some oxtail, I need this, I need that. Or, well, do they ever say whether or not his parents live in New York or
they do, or do they have to?
Well, they have to.
Yeah, because I think they've also they're in the Thanksgiving episode, and there's no way that they flew in.
Are.
Yeah.
Right. And then there's that one episode where Claire and his mom took the twins to like the hairdresser.
I love that episode.
Yeah, so they have to be from New York. Wow.
Yeah. Very strange.
Yeah, why are you not going to your parents' house? I'm not understanding.
Yeah, and like, why are you sleeping over at your in-laws? Like,
man, and then it's cute in a way because they're still in their first year of marriage, and it kind of mirrors that episode of A Different World where Whitley goes to New York. And Dwayne is like, hey, I'm hanging out with the boys. Let's do it. Party at my house. We're playing hoops in the morning. And then when she comes back, she finds him asleep on the couch holding their stuffed animal. But it was painfully clear that he missed his wife.
Yeah.
And Elvin was the same way. It was painfully clear that he missed his wife, because why are you walking from your apartment to the house? And you're talking, like you said, you're talking to children, getting marriage advice. And then you're being everything but subtle when you're talking to your in-laws about staying for dinner and eventually into spending the night.
Yeah.
It's really cute.
I was just like, wow, you don't want to sleep at your own like family's house that you grew up in. Like, I don't like, that's my thing. If I want to sleep over, I'm sleeping over at my parents' house. Like,
exactly. And then you talked about how you were on the phone with your boys. Do none of your boys live in New York?
Yeah.
Y'all talking guy stuff and you ain't did guy stuff? What's going on here, sir?
I know. I love the Kenny and Rudy, their conversations is so adult for like, or grown up, that like I don't understand how kids are having these conversations.
I don't know what it is. It seems like it's something that's innate with kids to hold conversations that are so adult. And I know that partially it comes from them watching other adults.
Yeah.
Because my students do it all the time. I've heard their conversations, and sometimes I'm like, am I here with my friends? Or what's going on here? And my students are 10 and 11.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and Rudy and Kenny are just a few years younger than that. So it's like, wow, y'all are really paying attention to adults here. One thing that I wish that they would have done with the Cosby Show was show Kenny's brother.
I know. I'm like, you got. He tells Alvin, "Oh, you got to talk to my brother." I'm like, who is your brother?
One, who is your brother? Two, his brother has everything to say that is loud and wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That man is a chauvinist, a sexist, very controlling, and toxic. Teaching this to your little brother.
Yeah.
And Kenny's been this way since he and Rudy were like 3.
Yeah.
And I really wish that they had his brother on there, because his brother deserves the same moment that Elvin had with Claire.
Mm-hmm.
Claire needed to go off on that boy and tell him what's what, tell him where to go, how to get there, and all of that. Because, sir, your mindset, I would have fought you. I would have fought you. And I know for sure, like, the Kevin Samuels community would have very much lived for it. But, like, no, I would have had to fight you. Because, first of all, Kenny, what? The man has to do, the man wears the pants, huh?
Yeah.
He tells her what to do. And you gonna tell Rudy that she gonna marry you if you talk. Bye.
And like the whole thing that Sandra needed permission to go to Boston, which that's not how it works in a marriage.
So cringy. So cringy. Oh my goodness. And it's just so, like, those issues you would think would have stayed back then. Mm-hmm. But they are making a very shining presence even in today's society. And we as women are continuously combating these ideas. And not to say that there aren't some men who are combating or standing against it or saying, hey, bro, this isn't cool. That's not how you treat a woman. But the fact that we are still fighting this is a huge problem for me. Yeah. I find myself speaking out against stuff like this all the time. I find myself it's almost like I'm on high alert for when it happens. It's like my antennas go out as soon as I see it happening. I try to nip it in the bud right then and there. Mm-hmm. I'm not experiencing this in my own personal relationship, so y'all, I don't want y'all to get that. But I've seen other people, and how they operate in their relationship. On social media, people just are letting people know how they feel on that topic. There's always some think pieces being written or recorded. Mm-hmm. And people will say this with their chest. Yeah. And it's like, wow, you real bold. So it's always that battle that's going on. And I pray for the day where we stop having that issue, because mm-hmm. it's old and tired.
Yeah. So we're gonna keep seeing Kenny and Rudy having these conversations throughout the series. Unfortunately, that's Kenny's brother is always the topic of discussion. Mm-hmm. So basically, with that storyline, Alvin ends up staying over, has dinner for a couple days, it seems like, until Sandra comes back from Boston. Mm-hmm. So now we're going to talk about this whole cancer situation. So I was looking into, like, I usually say who the guest stars are for all the actors that are not part of the main cast. And
right.
the man that talks about like the whole thing about the money, like we gotta find enough money for research, that like was seemed very weird to me in that scene.
Oh yeah, Jake's grandfather.
Yeah. But it is true to this day we haven't found like a cure for cancer. And I feel like this episode, the message of this episode is about how we haven't put enough money into figuring out how to cure cancer. What are your thoughts about that?
So it's funny that you mentioned that because I had the same thought. I'm like, wow, this is the 80s. And between the 80s and now, we have yet to cure cancer. I'm not going to say that there isn't any research being done.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not a medical professional, so I can't say that cancer is so clear cut. But we've had more than ample time to at least see how to stop something from happening. Because it seems like the only results we have are, I mean, we're pretty much playing with chance. Mm-hmm. You get cancer and then you go through chemo and radiation and all of that, and you go through that still hoping that the cancer goes away.
Yeah.
There's not a guarantee that it goes away. There's not any solution procedures that take place until after the cancer is gone. Like they don't know anything until the cancer leaves your body. So when the cancer is still there, you're still in this middle stage. And during this middle stage, a lot of times you're losing your hair, you're fatigued, or worse, your body is weak, you're tired a lot. And it really just put everything into perspective. And then I've heard other people say just in past conversations, the more money you have, the better your chances are. And I really don't like to think that way, but a part of me is starting to feel that way. Kind of like the same thing with AIDS. A lot of AIDS research has been done, and people are still being told that there is no cure for HIV/AIDS. And then we have Magic Johnson, who lives his life regularly on a day-to-day basis, with it well under control. Mm-hmm. And to think that money is the reason why, money or the lack thereof is the reason why, or could be the difference between how somebody who was not as wealthy as Magic maintains it versus Magic, mm-hmm. and how he maintains it. Yeah. It's really, really heartbreaking. And in our current political climate, it also made me think about how money is allocated. Mm-hmm. Because Granddad was right. The government has to back this. Yeah. It's not enough to just give a school a certain amount of money, mm-hmm. and say, hey, go do some research. Hey, go to the lab. It's not enough to do that. We have to put more money into the treatment centers. We have to put more money into the research, and all this money that y'all embezzling, all these taxes that people are paying, y'all are mismanaging it. Y'all like Biden is too worried about people paying back student loans.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I saw that whole thing. I thought that in his campaign, it was supposed to pay off give $50,000 forgiveness.
What happened to that?
Yeah,
Joe and Kamala, ain't nobody saying you since you got elected. I know. Last thing I heard was Biden was having some type. What was he having? A colonic or a colonoscopy or something? He was having some very small procedure where it was like a few day recovery, and they were like, OMG, Kamala Harris is going to assume presidential power for a few
because
days.
he was under anesthesia, so I guess to be safe, that's how it works. I don't know how this. You know more about American politics than I do.
So basically, because when they put that out, give me 1 second, hold on. Okay, so basically, when they put that thing out, it made me feel like y'all were scared that he wasn't gonna wake up. And with that, yes, in American politics, we the whole reason for a vice president is in case the president dies, or in case the president is relieved of their duty.
Yeah.
But her being president for 3 days should not be news.
Yeah.
She's already vice president. They live together. They work together. Yeah. So I'm sure when he's putting out these official statements, she's in that office while he's writing out ideas. Yeah. Or at least on the phone. Like, it shouldn't have been news. At least in my opinion, it shouldn't have been news. So that, whatever. But I just feel like there are so many ways that taxpayers' money can be allocated. And American politics it's the only thing I could think of is saying that it's like a dirty game. And not to negate what they actually deal with, because as a president, you have decided to assume the responsibility of an entire country. And there are so many problems that exist and even more problems that arise. And there are issues that you more than likely will not be prepared for. And I totally understand that. But I just feel like if you're going to assume the position and you're going to base your campaign on things like loan forgiveness, if you're going to base your campaign on reallocating and fixing up mismanagement of funds, then you have to actually do that. You can't tell me that you're worried about the issues and then you're overlooking the issue. You can't be more. And another issue I got with American politics, we're nosy. We are in everybody else's business. If another country go off the war, they're sending us out. Why? They don't even like us. And the people y'all sending out don't want to go. And we don't want them to. Yeah. So y'all so worried about these other countries and how can we help them and what can we do for them? Bro, what can we do for ourselves? How can we fix up all of the issues that we have? How can we get the ball rolling on better cancer research, quality cancer research? How can we roll out a better plan for fixing society? Like, there's so many homebound issues that you could be dealing with, Mr. Biden, Miss Harris. All that other stuff can wait. That's just if you ask me.
My old boss said I used to work in a nonprofit organization when I was in university, and my boss at the time, she told me a few years later after I quit, she told me that she got breast cancer. I don't know how it works here, but we do have like free healthcare. I don't know how it works with cancer exactly, but there's less of a cost for us because our government believes in free healthcare for all. And luckily for her, she caught it soon enough that she did chemotherapy and then did a surgery and it's gone now. Unfortunately, it might come back in the future for her, but it sucks because she told me how she felt while she was dealing with chemotherapy. She couldn't move, like she was just on the couch for days, and she didn't have the energy just to like, go to the washroom, the little things.
Little things, yeah.
And we talked about, like, I've worked on Hallmark films and stuff like that, and I was telling her, I was like, how I hated working on Hallmark films, but she told me those were the best things to see on television for her, because at least, with the chemotherapy, she can go in and out and still know what's happening on the screen, because the storylines are very simple.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense why there's a audience base for these films. So like, she just, like, I just felt for her, I couldn't imagine to be so tired and to lose all your hair, and I was just checking on Google, and apparently it's the stats are that almost 10 million people worldwide die from cancer annually, and it's a unfortunately that's a sad reality.
Yeah, it's very, very hard to know that there are people who are, strong warriors who have gone through so much. If they don't lose their hair, they've lost a breast, or they've or both of them. I forgot what. I feel like I know someone who has possibly lost both of her breasts, or I read something about someone who has. But I personally know people who have survived cancer, who are fighting cancer, and people who have lost the battle. And it is, it's a beast. And unfortunately, Black women are the people who, or the Black community altogether. It's almost like we have it a little harder in the medical field. Like cancer already affects so many people.
Yeah.
So like you said, 10 million. Of that 10 million that's affected, maybe about 6 or 7 million of that could have been Black people. And it hits them much harder. And then not to even mention the men who go through breast cancer. If you didn't know, men can also have breast cancer. And now I don't know any men personally who have battled cancer, but I can only imagine what it does to them. One, for them to not even have breasts, but two, just internally, I can literally only imagine how anybody who deals with breast cancer or cancer alone is affected. It's so vast, and oh man, I just took the wind out of me. Goodness gracious. The issue is so vast, and it's almost like it's one big question mark. How I don't know. Do you all have hospitals where on the oncology side they have a bell?
Well, I'm not sure. I've never seen what it's like to be there, so I don't know.
So oncology is the study of cancer.
Cancer, yeah.
And some hospitals, at least in America, when someone has finished chemo, they have a bell that they ring.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so like on the last day of their chemo. So let's say your chemo appointment was like 9:00. At the end of that appointment, you get to ring the bell. And when you ring the bell, that's indicating that you've had your last chemo and that you're going into remission. So many people do not get to ring that bell. So many people are waiting to ring that bell. And I can only imagine what that does to your mental.
Yeah.
How you're feeling every day, especially when your energy fluctuates the way that it does. Your norm is very abnormal. So we need to do better. Yeah. We need to do better. There are so many people whose lives are at stake that don't deserve it.
Mm-hmm. Well, so another part of this episode is, Theo has a hard time seeing his friend have cancer. We start off with the locker room scene where, his friends are saying we're going to see Jake at 5, like, or before 5, because I think that's when the hospital closed. And
visiting hours were over.
Yeah, and Theo's like, no, I gotta study. And they're like, what? You gotta study on a Friday afternoon? Like, you have the whole weekend to study, right? And Theo points out, it's kind of depressing to see a friend that has cancer. What do you say to a guy that has cancer? Like, and I don't know what his name is, but one of the friends, he says, if you were sick, wouldn't you want your friends to come visit you? And he was like, no, but for me, I want my friends to visit me, like, to keep me distracted by the whole situation. Yeah. So I didn't understand Theo, like, why he didn't want to be there to uplift Jake, like, just by visiting him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think in that regard, it becomes easy to think about yourself. As we saw in the episode, Theo was worried about how he would feel seeing his friend in that situation. And yes, you do need to be in a good place in order to do that, because you don't want to be the one that's walking in and then you crying. You don't want to be the one to put yourself in a situation where it's like, okay, well, you crying for me having it, but imagine being me. So there is a heart check that has to be done, and it's kind of clear that Theo has never had to experience knowing someone who is as sick as Jake is.
Yeah.
It seems as though, the worst that he's seen was Rudy's flu. And with him having, I think another thing is, with him having a doctor as a father, he might have felt, do I want to use desensitized? Maybe not desensitized. I think with him having a father, he knows a lot, or has been told a lot, about different health issues and health scares. And he was just comfortable with the knowledge that these things exist. But it hits home when your friend is going through it. So I guess almost like a never thought it could be me. Didn't expect it to be me. I didn't expect to know somebody to go through this.
Jake points out, he's like, I wish whoever created chemistry to be the one to get cancer. Like, why me?
Yeah.
You always wish that.
Yeah. Hilarious, because to this day, I just know by the grace of God, I passed chemistry with a C. And that was a very hard C. Woo-wee. But yeah. Theo, he handled it a little better than I expected him to. But there are a lot of emotions that fly around. I don't think Theo realized that he probably would have been better off going with his friends to see Jake. Because that's something that's very hard to take on by yourself, especially when you haven't laid eyes on this guy. So Theo is going in there thinking that Jake's going to be hooked up to tubes and, practically unconscious or really sickly, the way that he, pranked him when he walked in the room. So Theo had all these preconceived notions of what he was going to walk into.
Yeah.
And I think that was the reason why he was totally disregarding what the nurse was telling him. Because she's just like,
I don't want to end up in the wrong room.
Right. And I'm like, okay, now dude, you just stalling. Cause like, first of all, that's the only room that's standing right there.
Yeah.
If you can't read numbers, sir, 238 is right there. You know, and she's telling him, like, yes, one can have too many visitors, but not in Jake's case.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I'm glad that Theo was able to go through with it. I was actually afraid that he was going to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
I was afraid that he would have gotten to that door and either sat in that chair that he sat in. I thought he was going to cry in the chair
Mm-hmm.
because I'm one of those people where, like, if you're going to cry, get away from it, like, cry it out first and then go handle it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm just glad that Theo properly dealt with what he dealt with prior to going into the room.
Mm-hmm.
But also when he went into the room, he was still walking on eggshells.
I know.
He
And I
was
love
still
how
on
Jake
pins and needles.
I love how Jake faked it. Like he's like he making noise and then the part where he's like, kiss me. I'm like, what is this? This is just weird.
I
was like, what?
I was like,
what's the point with
wait,
this?
kiss, sir, excuse, what's going on here? What are you doing? But that's some real friend stuff. Because you're saying everything that you know, like you, what you're saying, you already know what the response is going to be.
Yeah.
You know, so I like the way that Jake plotted on Theo. The conversation that they had was really real between them. Because it for me as a viewer, it was hard for me to kind of gauge the conversation when Jake was like, you know, let's act like we're not here. Let's act like we're at your house. You know, and Theo was, well, I went here. How come you weren't at school? I was in bed. Well, I went to the mall. Where'd you go? And then he's like, hey, can you be sensitive? And then I'm like, are you joking or are you for real?
Yeah, there was times where he was joking. There was times he was serious. I was like, what? Like, I can't take someone like that.
Yeah, and it was really hard to tell what he was in the moment. And I'm like, oh God, oh, he's serious. He's serious. And then when they had the serious moment where Theo was like, hey man, you asked me to act like we're not at school. And then I act like we're not at school and this is what we're doing. What's up? So this episode just really tugged at your heart. Like, oh man. But this was mature. It was very mature, if you ask me. I really felt like Theo should have asked questions. And I kind of felt like he wanted to and chose not to. Which in most situations is smart. But also on the flip side, it's like, it's not what you say, but how you say it.
Yeah.
So he could have asked him, like, you know, hey, what happened? How did this start? Whatever. But I remember in the conversation that Jake said that this was a relapse from when he was a kid. And I was like, oh, wow. Because like they weren't entirely clear on the timeline with the cancer. I mean, this is also the only time that we see Jake.
Yeah, this is a one-off character.
Yeah, and you know, whenever they do stuff like that, I really think about, like, you know, what did they do with that character? Is it supposed to be implied that, you know, that he's passed or
did he die?
Yeah, because, you know, they didn't kill him in the episode.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, Cliff was telling him, like, you ain't dying on me. You're gonna be here long enough for me to deliver your kids. so then I was like, okay, well, maybe this, a mild thing. Is he stage 1? Is he stage 2?
We don't know.
I had a lot of questions that was going on, and a lot of questions that Theo probably should have asked, but he didn't, and that's fine too. But they did a very good job at bringing about awareness with this, especially with the grandfather's passionate
speech.
His speech, right to the congressman. And have you written to your congressman? And he was, oh no, I haven't written to my congressman. Okay, well, we can write right now. Well, my pen is upstairs. You can use my pen. You right, Granddad. You're right.
Yeah.
But he's not wrong. Only issue is that you have to keep beating down those doors.
Yeah.
In order for change to come.
So what are you saying? Should everyone be sending a letter to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to figure out all these things that they promised and that they didn't deliver?
I feel like if you're going to write a letter, make it handwritten. Mm-hmm. One thing that I do know about that White House is that when they get handwritten letters, they pay attention to them. Mm-hmm. When they get typed up letters, it's easy to be tossed to the side. Mm-hmm. Funny story. My cousin got married 2016. Was it 15? Either 2015 or 2016, my cousin got married. And she personally invited Barack and Michelle to the wedding. Like, she mailed them an invitation. Yeah.
Wait, what? I'm sorry. I was like, girl, I was spacing out, and then you said that.
I don't know who told this girl. I don't know who told my cousin to do it, but she mailed an invitation to the White House. And I want to say, like, she hand wrote on the envelope. Mm-hmm. And of course they didn't come to the wedding. But she did get like a note from Michelle in the mail, basically saying, thank you for your invitation to the wedding. Barack and I, at the time of the wedding, they were, what were they doing?
They were probably still in office.
They were still in office. And while they were still in office, Michelle was doing her Let's Move campaign. Mm-hmm. And that was the Let's Move campaign was a campaign to get kids more active and to beat childhood obesity. And at the time of the wedding, Michelle was doing a tour. Mm-hmm. And was visiting kids in different states and doing different speaking events and kind of like talking circles with kids. So she was on her tour at the time of the wedding. Yeah. So they wrote back basically saying, like, we would have shown up, but this is what was going on. But God bless your union. Congratulations. We love you. Barack and Michelle. And they signed their names and mailed it off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was really, really surprised. Because now if they were still living in Chicago, then they probably would have shown up. Mm-hmm. Before they were Barack and Michelle. Yeah. Michelle was, she was pretty much known. She was well known here, but she worked at University of Chicago Hospital. Mm-hmm. And so she was doing so well at her job and was doing community engagement and things of that nature. So her name was out there already. She actually went to see one of my high school friends off to prom.
Oh, really?
And this is when Barack was a senator.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how their relationship cultivated, but there is a picture where Michelle is standing next to one of her family members while she's in her prom dress, whatever. They have a picture of both of them together. And then Michelle integrated in with the family.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, wow, you and Michelle Obama. At your prom send off, go ahead, Savannah. So yeah. So I truly believe that they would have shown up had they not been busy, had they not been on the tour. I truly believe that they would have shown up. And if that would have happened, my Lord.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
It would have been so fun. Oh my goodness. But yeah. I forgot what I was
You were talking about handwriting to the Congress about
yes. So if you are going to write a letter to the White House, and that's just if you're in the US, I would say handwrite it. But social media is a very powerful tool. And not to say that there are not any videos or Facebook posts or tweets that aren't circulating regarding these matters. Mm-hmm. But I feel like if we do something close to breaking the internet, then something can bring about something. Maybe if all of the hospitals came together and outside of petitions and outside of rallies and things of that nature, if the hospitals performed a united front, along with places like Cancer Treatment Centers of America, the American Cancer Society, Susan G. Komen Foundation, I feel like if they all came together, if they made a stand and stood firm in that, maybe, just maybe, some change could be brought about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you storm the White House with the letters, that may work too. You never know. Kamala is an Alpha Kappa Alpha. So I imagine that she keeps her nose into the news and what's going on mm-hmm. with that. So if AKA from national to citywide or to regional, however that thing goes, if AKA, well, I do know that they've worked with different cancer societies and different cancer organizations to raise money. I know that they've done that. But I don't know, maybe if they had a sponsorship, if they basically, bottom line, if you really go hard, you'll be seen. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Some funny parts of this episode, because this episode was pretty serious. Theo gives Jake a sub with and a straw, and so he basically,
my God,
he ate the meat.
I would have smacked him.
He ate the meat of the sub, and then he had a milkshake, and he just put the straw there. I was like, what? What kind of gift is this?
I would have smacked him. But that was also part of that best friend thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, or like, along the comedic lines of, I was at school, you weren't.
Yeah.
How come you didn't go? It was on that same comedic line. But me personally, don't come up in here telling me that you brought me some food and then it's half eaten.
I know. I need full on food. Like I can't deal with it.
And then I'm in the hospital. I'm eating applesauce.
Yeah.
And I'm drinking soup. I want some real food. So you come up in here, you tell me that you got me my favorite sub from my favorite place. And then you tell me I ate everything that wasn't good for you. I'm not worried about what's good for me. I'm already in the hospital. Mm-hmm. Like, what more can be done to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was funny, but I felt very offended for Jake.
Yes. Another thing with food. This was talked about it for like a little bit. Yes. Cliff has to go deliver 3 babies for the evening, so he needs food. Yes. And what is weird is putting apple pie in your salad. First of all, I'm a salad girl. I love salads. Like I love a Caesar salad, a Greek salad, like Italian salad. I love salads, like, as long as it has a lot of dressing on it. But
Right. Yes. Same.
I also like apple pies. But putting apple pie in lettuce, I'm just like, what? I know you're trying to hide it, but like that lettuce was
Yeah.
cut at all. So I'm like, you're not gonna even eat the lettuce. Like it's just like
Yeah. At first I was like, then I was like, ooh, that's a little clever. Only problem is, dude, you married a lawyer. So she knows, first of all, she knows you and has always known you. Two, she gets paid to read people for filth. She gets paid to pay attention to details. Her job is literally paying attention to details and piecing things together. So, you, I don't know if it was just me, but even when she came into the kitchen, he was acting entirely antsy.
Yeah.
Which was giving himself away.
Yeah.
Now, granted, he was like in the middle of putting the pie away when she came into that. So like when he came back, when he pulled the carrots out and was like, hey, what you gonna say? Hey, I was like, okay, nice save. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, nah, she saw him put that pie away.
Yeah.
Like she saw him put it away and there's no pie inside. Like none. And then the dead giveaway. You got all this healthy food. Knowing good and well you like them hoagies. With the orange pop and what, the potato chips.
Yeah, the chips.
Sir. Who are you trying to fool?
Yeah.
And, who are you trying to play?
And eventually Claire decides to take out the pie and he has a salad and his vegetables and all that stuff. Great for the rest of the evening.
But this is a lot of lettuce. Are you gonna be able to eat this?
To me, when she said that, I was like, "Yeah, I can eat that." Like that.
Right. I'm like, why wouldn't he be able to eat it?
That is normal for me.
Right. I'm like, why wouldn't he be able to eat? Because I'm in my mind, I'm like, okay, he got a bag, so I'm imagining he has the knife and fork in the bag.
Yeah.
I imagine at the time he gonna sit down and eat, he's gonna do some slicing and dicing and chopping it up, because the man he will cook.
Yeah.
And they eat his food. So, no problem.
Yeah.
And at first I'm like, all right, Claire, like you're doing a lot. But that was also the side of me that's like, look, just let him have the pie. Like let him have the pie. And I'm thinking in my mind, like if I was in his shoes, what I would be doing and how I would be acting. I think I would have been able to get away with it though. Like I probably would have like taken the bottle of the dressing and hey, I'm only bringing the bottle just so that I can distribute how much I would want for my salad.
Yeah.
I think I would have been able to finesse it, but Claire was not going for that.
Yeah.
She was not going for that. Pulled that thing out and revealed 2 slices of pie.
Yeah. And so after the whole, evening with Jake, it's nighttime and we're at home and we see Elvin and Vanessa and Rudy. They're planning to watch a movie. And, we find out that Elvin is wearing Cliff's pajamas because, he just came over and didn't bring anything with him.
Right. And he looked really nice in those pajamas. I'm not going to lie. Well, those pajamas looked really nice.
Yeah. But you can tell
those like, ooh.
I feel like I've seen Cliff wear those before though, like that type.
I feel like I have too.
Yeah.
And something is telling me that he has those blue ones and that he had them in red or like
he had different colors.
Like a burgundy kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I think he might have worn them. Maybe in the flu episode.
Probably because they had to wear pajamas in bed.
Yeah, I feel like I had seen those pajamas before, but they looked really nice. I wonder if they still make them. Because you know, some of the threads back then, oh my goodness,
they were really good.
The styles back then, the way that colors were put together, it was totally genius.
And and Vanessa makes a comment saying, you know, like I guess she likes how Alvin is there, and wishes that Sandra gets snowed in, and Alvin was like, please no, please no.
Don't say that.
I need my woman.
I need my muffin.
Yeah. And Vanessa was like, oh, you should try to impersonate like Cliff because you're wearing this, you know, the outfits, you know. And so he starts doing it, and all of a sudden behind him, which I'm like, why are you standing like that? You should have like, I don't know, it was weird. But Cliff and Theo come in, and Vanessa is trying to warn him, be like, stop what you're doing, like, but he keeps going.
No, don't do it. And he kept going. What was crazy was he had it down accurately. Mm-hmm. Especially when he said something about in your face. He sounded just like him. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, so when he was doing it, I'm like, you know what, Jeffrey, you're having so much fun doing this. Yeah. Love this for you. But something also made me feel like in between taping, they probably imitated that man all the time.
Probably.
And somebody probably asked, like, hey, can we have a scene where somebody imitates Cliff? and somebody finally granted it, because that was entirely too accurate. I don't know how he was able to keep a straight face. Mm-hmm. I don't know how they were able to keep a straight face, because I probably would have been ruining take after take after take, just laughing.
Yeah.
They probably would have had to kick me out the scene. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But he did a very, very good job impersonating him. And I also want to say, shout out to Elvin for knowing the good movie snacks. That man got them popcorn, ice cream, and pop. Thank you.
I don't think I would want, like, the ice cream is the best part, because I'll eat that. But I don't know if I want to pop and ice cream at the same time.
So,
because I don't eat popcorn. I don't like popcorn. So
you're like the second or third person that I know that doesn't eat popcorn, and it really troubles me. Because I mean, I get it, you know, like, because even though I eat popcorn, the worst part about popcorn is when the kernels get stuck in my teeth. Mm-hmm. Like, that really bothers me. But yeah, it's just, wow. What is it for you? Like, what about it don't you
like? I'm a picky eater just in general. So it's just, there's just certain things I don't like. And popcorn, like, I've tried it. Like, I've tried it with butter. It's still just not fulfilling. Like, I would rather have chips. Like potato chips, I'm good, you know? Oh, the one thing, because I know Americans don't have it, because, you know, when I work with Americans, I have family that are Americans. The one thing that we have in Canada that you guys don't have is ketchup chips. Those are the best. Those are my favorite kind of chips. It is, I know it sounds disgusting, but it actually tastes amazing. So, you know, just if you ever come to Canada.
So I have heard of ketchup flavored chips. I did not know that we didn't have it in America.
Apparently, unless you guys started, I don't know. But whenever I'm in the States, I can't get ketchup chips.
That is, yeah. But so Chicago is a place where we shade ketchup a lot. Like, we have people here who like ketchup.
You shade people to like ketchup?
No, we shade ketchup. Not the people who like it. Like, so we're big on mild sauce here. Uh-huh. Mild sauce is like, people make it so many ways. Mm-hmm. But the biggest part about it is barbecue sauce. Mm-hmm. So it's like, if barbecue sauce and not necessarily hot sauce. I don't know if they mix ketchup and no, it's not ketchup. Ketchup is not in mild sauce. I think it's barbecue sauce and brown sugar and something else. But the flavor profile is just top tier. It's top 2 and not 2. And once you've had mild sauce, it's like ketchup who? So
ketchup is like my favorite thing though.
I'm telling you. Look, one day we're gonna arrange a trip for you to come here, and you're gonna get the entire Chicago experience. But I promise you, I mean, I'm not gonna say that you're gonna say ill ketchup.
Yeah.
But I know you're gonna be like, oh, hey, so how do I get this home? Like, but like we throw a lot of shade at ketchup. Like ketchup is only permitted here on like burgers and hot dogs. And even then, like we have a Chicago hot dog, like a Chicago style hot dog.
Yeah.
But the ratio of people who eat hot dogs versus the Chicago Polish, the Polish is outweighing the hot dog. And you don't put ketchup on a Polish. That
maybe I'm the only one that does that though.
Yeah. It's okay. If you put ketchup on your Polish, we'll just explain that you're not from here.
Okay.
Because I mean they'll do it. They'll do it for you, you know, but traditionally you get grilled onions and mustard only. Maybe sauerkraut, but I'm not a fan of sauerkraut, so I don't put that. No, I don't play around with that. But a lot of old school people do put it on it. It's a masterpiece. You got to try it. You got to come try it. But ketchup chips are something that's new. Wait, who is the company that makes your ketchup chips?
There's 2. There's Old Dutch, which is my favorite, and then the second one's Lay's.
Lay's?
Yeah.
They make
yeah. They're not my favorite, but I'm willing to eat them. They're not my favorite though.
See, that just shows how different companies are in different places. Because you're right. Like we have Lay's out here, and Lay's
I know.
Yet
I could get any other
come
kind.
out. Yeah, we don't have the ketchup Lay's.
I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to be competition with Old Dutch. I'm not sure.
That's crazy. So like there is a chip company called Hers. They would most likely, HERR''S.
Oh, okay.
They would more than likely make a ketchup flavored chip, which is why I was surprised that we didn't have ketchup flavored chips. But wow, you just told me something. Because I would have never guessed that.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Yeah. Well, that concludes the end of the episode. So we have a whole bunch of guest stars. I didn't realize until like I looked on IMDb. I was like, oh wow, there was actually a lot of people on this episode. So we have Dion Richmond as Kenny. You know, he's always doing his thing. And then there's the person that plays Jake Palmer. His name is Christopher. Oh, I don't think I'm going to say his last name right. Collet or Collet. I don't know how to say it.
How do you spell it?
Collet.
Collet sounds. It's probably Collet.
Okay, so he's actually known for the Pokemon TV series from 2000 to 2016. Like,
who did he play?
I don't know, but he has. Okay, actually, I should look this up. But he has, and like he's done other things with the Pokemon universe. Like he has done it like that. That's his life. He has played. I don't know. I don't know much about Pokemon.
Ash or Brock, I'm going to lose it.
Steven Stone, Shine Guardian, Man in the Crown 2. I don't know.
Okay, that sounds like one of the people that they fought.
Yeah, he's done 640 episodes of that series.
So he's a voiceover actor. Okay.
Yeah, so he's done Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Wow.
Sonic X. Like, yeah, I guess he does mostly voiceover. But yeah, he's been keeping busy.
Come on, Chris. Okay.
Yeah. And then the nurse, the Black woman that was trying to help Theo, Gwen McGee, she has been in a few other, like, as guest stars in, like, Martin, Do the Right Thing, The Wayne Brothers, Sister, Coach Carter, Girlfriends, and also that show that we discovered last time, the Cosby Mysteries. Apparently she's appeared in that too.
Wow. Oh wait, Girlfriend, you said?
Yeah, she guest appearance, so we don't know which episode.
I feel like, so I've watched Girlfriend entirely too much. She may, I feel like I might have seen her. I have a few episodes that I think she might have been a part of. She probably played one of William's random girlfriends, or
no, she was a church member.
A church member. Oh, I know that episode.
Yeah.
That's the one where they forced Joan to reconcile with Tony. I have a really big issue with that episode. Oh man. Okay.
Yeah, and then we have Khalif. I don't even know how to say it. See, I'm so bad with last names. Bob Otone plays George. Brian Grant plays Gerald. Like, these are the Theo's friends. Adam Sandler as Smitty, Dennis Singleton as Lyle Thompson, Troy Winbush as Denny, and then the guy that plays the grandfather, his name is Dr. Ahmad Hammer. He hasn't done any acting. Like, this is like his only like acting credit. I think he's just a professor, but he did pass away in 1990. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he was a little older.
So yeah, so I'm not sure. I really don't know why. And he's not a professor of science. He is, or like or doctor of science. He's a businessman. Like, so I don't know why they had him.
Business.
I don't know.
Why they had him talking about that?
Yeah, I don't know why they picked this guy. I'm not sure. Maybe he's a friend of Bill Cosby, because, as I told you, sometimes they just pick people from the hood to be on the show.
Thanks.
So,
yep.
So that's probably the case. So yeah, so that was all the guest stars for this episode, and of course Sabrina LaBeouf did not appear, which is weird because she's still in the main credits. So I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah, it was just one episode that she was missing. Just like how they kept Denise with because specifically with this season, this is that the opening credit.
Yeah, I think she's just
how
they're
just like the 30s. She's a picture,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And that had to either be the time when she was doing A Different World or when she was pregnant.
I believe it's A Different World, season 1.
Yep, that's what it was.
So, yeah. So, what do you think was the lesson from this episode?
One, focus on the issues. And two, if you want to bring about some change, you got to put you have to be the person to invoke it. Also, I don't know why, but it's reminding me of Sister Act 2, where they say if you want to be somebody and if you want to go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention. I don't know why that's resonating with me with that, but yeah. But also, don't be afraid to make these officials do their jobs. But for sure, focus on the issues and, just check on your people.
Yeah, that's the biggest, I think. Be present, be there, like, because what happens if Jake passes away next week or something? You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
He could have lost that opportunity, to see him. So
yeah, love on your people. Give people their flowers while they can still smell them. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Give people their flowers while they can still smell them. I want to send a huge hug to everyone who is either a warrior, a survivor, or somebody who might have been who might be bereaved from a fallen soldier. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. And one day we're going to beat this thing.
For sure. Well, is there anything you want to plug on this podcast?
You can find me on Instagram at Damn Girl You Know Everybody. You can find me on Twitter at I Love Them 90s, capital I, capital L, capital T, 90. Yeah. You can find me on TikTok at DJ Shay Bebe. I changed my TikTok name because my kids are weird and they keep finding me. Oh. And I'm tired of having to block them. So, yeah, DJ SHAYBAYBAY. Yeah. Nathan reached out to me again, and so he asked me a question about my favorite TV theme show. I do not have
a theme song or
yes, theme song.
Oh, okay.
What did I say? Theme show? What's wrong with me? Okay. A favorite TV theme song. I cannot only just pick one.
Yeah, it's a little hard.
A Different World season 6 is up there.
But for sure. What
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I love Living Single.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next one because I'm always lit when that would come on. Keep your head up, what? Keep your head up. That's right. Also, the Cosby Show season.
Is it 7? 6?
The one with the graffiti in the background.
Oh, that's 8. That's the last one. Yeah.
Yes, season 8. I like that one. But no, I like that one, but I also like the one before.
Yeah, the 6 and 7 one, which is the same.
Yeah, like when Raven comes in and she's doing that little sassy. Yeah, that's like my favorite Cosby Show intro.
The elevator music, what Cosby Show calls it.
Yes, that one. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorites. What's another theme song that I like? Wow.
I like Moesha also. By the way, I was
really thinking.
I discovered Moesha last year. I never watched it until it came onto Netflix.
Oh, girl. We gotta have a book club about that one. Because you're gonna be upset when it ends.
I binge watched the whole thing. Like I literally watched.
Oh yeah.
it.
Oh, so you're. I watched. You know my level of upset.
I know. The ending. I was just like, guys, why did there be another season, or why didn't they do like a little mini episode? I don't know. Whatever. Let's not talk about
it. and I also enjoy Girlfriend's theme song.
Yes,
I say that faithfully. Funny story. One day at work, I had caught a chill, and I'm really dramatic for no reason, and so are some of my coworkers. But I have a staff full of people who sing, and so one day the chill came, and I was just whoo, and everybody was my. Oh man, I'm sunshine at my job. Everybody knows it. They'll tell you. That was a good day. It was a very good moment.
Yeah.
So, but I'm actually going to go back through some different TV shows and choose what like maybe my top 10 list. Because there are a lot of theme shows. What is wrong with me? Theme songs from TV shows that I enjoy.
Same.
So I hope you're listening, Nathan. And I hope you hear this because I'm sorry I'll be having a hard time responding to messages because my job keeps me on my toes. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, that's great to hear. You're gonna be back next week on when we're doing the Cosby Show season 4, episode 17, the Drum Major.
Haha, love it.
Yeah. And we'll talk to you all next time. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye, y'all.